Yeah, good win. Getting behind it early and just creating some offense and getting a little deeper in the game and getting really good relief pitching from Palmer Wenzel and then finishing up with Wally. But, solid defense all day and kind of a nasty day. But really, we just tried to create our offense today and get some things going. It worked out.
Well, go ahead, Joe.
You mentioned creating your offense today, and obviously you emphasized it seems like a lot of small ball. Was that what you meant by creating, and why did you want to use that methodology to get the bats going a little bit today?
Well, I think it's a part of our speed, part of our game, but more than anything, I think it builds confidence when whether you swing the bat and hit a ball in the gap or you get a base hit on a drag bunt, it builds confidence. And I just felt like that's how we needed to play today. And I think that's going to be a part of our offense. We've always said we want to score multiple ways, and we were able to utilize our speed. We were good first to thirds. And we really just did a nice job of putting pressure on their defense.
Dustin, go ahead.
David, beyond the obvious of what was on the scoreboard, what did you see offensively that you really liked? I mean, I think every starter had a hit. It seemed like guys were just a lot more relaxed in what they were doing.
Well, in the middle of the order, I thought Cam is now in the box and they're really having to pitch to him. So they're pitching around him. I wouldn't say around him, but they're very conscious of who's in the box. And that's what we're trying to get to, where, they're not just attacking us because we haven't been that offensive. So that was a plus. Try to get more guys in that kind of predicament. I thought Silas had some really good at bats, even though I think he only had one hit, but he had some really good at bats. And then at the bottom of the order with Dougie and Campbell handling the short game, and then the top of the order, allowing those guys to get going. But I thought that Cam had such a presence, and we need to get more guys with that presence.
Danny, go ahead.
David, do you view this as maybe, for lack of a better word, a confidence booster for your guys on offense, 1 through 9?
I hope so. But at the same time, I think it's a continuation of having good at bats and getting better and creating and being a better offense. And I think unselfish play has a part of that. Any guy that feels like he's a hitter and wants to hit doesn't really want to sacrifice bunt. So it takes some team orientation. It takes the mindset that this is the best thing for the team. And then we have good results from that. And then you feel a lot better about contributing on the day. And that's what we were looking for.
This is the first time, we got to see him a little bit in Arlington, but Palmer, what has he shown you through the fall, and what did you think you were getting when you got him the grad transfer?
Well, we thought we were getting a closer from UTSA, that type of mentality. He has a very, very strong mentality. He's tough. He's very smart. But what I've been impressed with in his 2 outings in the regular season is that he's attacked really well with his best stuff. And to me, he's been better the last 2 outings than he was in the fall and that he was in the early spring. So that's a good sign, because then you look up and say, this guy likes the competition. And when something's on the line, he wants the ball. And I think that's key.
Go ahead, Chris.
David, is it any coincidence that you guys put up 12 runs like you did today in your 5th game after the break that you had to have, and just the guys finally getting back into that rhythm and that timing and the cycle of the baseball season now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I just feel like going into the bottom of the first, I had told Mikey and told EK, I said, Mikey, you're going to drag. And then EK, you're going to follow him with the drag. And then we'll look and see where we are when Trey comes up. So we're really just trying to have better at bats and swing at better pitches. No matter if it's a high velocity guy or if it's a guy that spins the ball a lot. So I think that's the key. We're just trying to get people more and more comfortable with at-bats against outside competition. That's really it.
And finally, just the way those 3 games in Arlington went, and then, back-to-back wins now, is this team starting to, I don't know if it lost any confidence from Arlington, but what's the mindset of the team after two straight wins?
Well, we were embarrassed coming out of there. And although we played really good teams and we understand that, we faced really good arms, it still was embarrassing. And, it's just more of a challenge for us to get better every day. Every single day, we want to, have better plate discipline. We want to make sure that we're attacking the strike zone better. I didn't think we attacked the strike zone as well as we need to beat quality teams. And I'm not saying BYU is not a quality team. I'm just saying consistently that's going to catch up with you. So we have to trust our stuff and attack. I hope we're building some confidence every single day, and I hope we're getting better every single day.
Joe, you're up.
I know he was unavailable yesterday, but when you look at the order now, and you've got guys like Mike and Eric and Trey and Cam hitting as well as they are at the top of the order, how does Zubia maybe start to work his way up into that spot in the order? Or are those 4 guys the guys that you're most comfortable with being up there?
Well, actually, we didn't get Zub cleared until 30 minutes before batting practice. And I scratched Ivan and put Zub in, and I had already originally switched Cam Williams and Ivan from 4 and 7. So I just slid him in there to take a little pressure off of him, have some success. And, he had 3 hits today and had really good at bats. So that was a great sign.
Yep, you're up.
Hey, David, I know you talked in the fall about Tanner Witt just focusing on pitching right now, not playing a position, but this role where he can pitch, he can DH. Do you see that evolving for him? And how is it when you're managing a legit 2-way player that you feel like can do both really, really well?
Well, I think first of all, we got to protect his arm when in his infield play. So we've pretty much have taken that away right now. He can take ground balls, but all of his throwing is going towards his pitching. He's too valuable for us on the mound right now as he builds his durability. So that's key. If you notice today, I could have, when Lance Ford pinch ran for Zubia, I allowed him to have the at bat instead of giving it to Ivan, because there's some guys that I feel like that can help us, but I don't want to put them in such a crucial situation and they've had no at bats. So I'm trying to get guys like Lance, guys like Campbell and Murph, Ivan, as many at bats and as many as starts that make sense. I'm not saying it's ever a blessing to have a kid hurt, but having Dougie Hodo in there right now is definitely a benefit towards our offense and towards our team of building his comfort. But, Tanner's just one of those kids that he's got a baseball IQ, an athletic mind, and I think he's going to be an incredible 2-way guy. But right now, to utilize him the way we are allows him to be comfortable coming off the bench and pinch hitting or a spot start in a DH role, and still knowing that, he's getting a lot of innings for us right now. So he's very valuable, but more so on the mound right now for us.
All right. If there's nothing else, appreciate the time, Coach.
Welcome.
Thanks, David.
Danny, go ahead.
Palmer, why don't you kind of take us through your road to Texas? Why was this place you wanted to grad transfer to? How'd you end up in Austin?
Sure. So I was previously at UT San Antonio. We played Texas every year, and the atmosphere and the history in the program is just unbeatable. And so from a baseball standpoint, it was a pretty easy decision. And then looking into the academic side, as everyone knows, Texas is just very impressive on that end too. So when I put the two together, I didn't even think about going anywhere else.
Obviously, you and Mike are both grad transfers. How have you guys kind of worked your way into this team and, kind of integrated yourself into this, I guess, Texas culture?
It's, it's not always easy coming in. you're an older guy, so you have some stuff that goes with that, some positive things, but you still have to kind of earn that respect just like anyone else. And so that's kind of been a focus for me and Mike, is just to come in and do what you always do. We tell the younger guys a lot about, you're here for a reason, and we have to remember that too. So yeah, Mike especially has just really stepped up to be a big team leader, and kind of settled into his role as an older guy who offers a lot of guidance.
Dustin, you're up.
With the early season schedule, it really tests pitching depth, and so much of the season is always about guys just getting out there and throwing and figuring out the roles as it goes. But how do you envision yourself fitting in with this pitching staff? I mean, David mentioned that he liked your mentality as kind of a back end guy. Do you see yourself being able to be one of those guys in those leverage situations late in the game?
Absolutely. That's something I'm comfortable doing. And I think that a big part of coming into that role is just being comfortable in general, being able to step into that moment. But we have a lot of really talented guys who are going to do a lot of things for us. So at the end of the day, and something I often tell the starters is, my job is just to help y'all, to help you get as many wins as possible. Whatever my role is, like it's for them. And that's kind of the mentality that I think a lot of our guys in the bullpen take.
Go ahead, Joe.
I asked Mike this last night, so you'll get it too. When was the moment that you kind of figured that, okay, I'm in, I'm part of this team, I'm a Longhorn, this is where I'm at now? When was that moment for you where it kind of set in that you weren't Roadrunner anymore, you were a Longhorn?
It's a good question. I think over the break, it really started to set in. In the fall, I felt comfortable and I felt welcomed. But obviously with COVID, it's not easy to kind of spend that physical time together. So I think reflecting over the winter break a lot, I realized, like, wow, okay, like this is really a special team, and I feel like I have a big part to play here to help my team. And I think that's when it really hit me. It wasn't a moment where I stepped on the field and saw everything around me. It was really just reflecting on my teammates and kind of the chemistry that we're trying to build together.
So that's a time when, right before this camp starts and you're about to get going into competition for innings. Do you think that was beneficial for you in that regard, that it was that close to when, things were really starting to fire, and that's when the competition was really about to start?
Yeah, I would say it does help. I think any time that you can feel comfortable as a part of something bigger than just yourself, then it can be really good for you. I didn't have any worries about not feeling comfortable, but I would say that kind of having that occur and settling in like that was a big positive. It really it makes a difference for sure.
Danny, go ahead.
You came in a pressure situation this afternoon, maybe added a little bit of pressure with that walk, but after that strikeout, pretty smooth 3 innings. What was working for you this afternoon against this BYU team?
I would say the fastball. Just throwing the fastball, trying to get strikes, and we often talk about avoiding the center of the plate, and I think that was something that I definitely had to keep in mind. But the biggest contributor is the fact that our offense was just on. I mean, they kept scoring runs, and when they're doing their job like that, it makes it really easy to come in and relax and just make your pitch.
I was going to ask you that as a follow-up. The offense had been struggling, these first 4 games. How nice was it to see your guys, get 12 runs, 15 hits tonight and kind of get this offense going?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, we have a lot of faith in them. We talked after this weekend about how, no panic. We know that we're a better team than that. And honestly, there's a lot more in there too. Like the hits were great today and the runs were awesome, but they've got a lot more stored in there than what we showed today. But I'm definitely thankful for it.